What do you want to start with?
Oh, we can start with football.
Oh, it's glorious.
If you want to start with football.
Of course.
Fisch and Toast, episode 18. What I just noticed, though, is your headline, Fantasy Football Loser.
Yeah, I'm playing in the Fantasy Football Championship right now, and
it's not going well.
It all came down to tonight. I had Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
And he has Gibbs and Jameson Williams.
Oh, and did Jameson Williams get credit for that touchdown?
Yes.
He got credit for that touchdown, didn't
St. Brown catches it, throws it to him. I was like, no way. Like, I cannot believe what's happening right now. And then he got a rushing touchdown. Literally the two guys I don't need just absolutely dicking me down. That's what Cam Steph gets. That motherfucker is the luckiest guy ever.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, the last couple of weeks, people talking about their fantasy football teams and players and stuff. I have not played fantasy for, I think this is my third straight season. I might have to make a return.
I think you should.
I might have to get back in the gym, start working on my waiver wire claims, how quickly I can log on and hit that claim button. I miss it a little bit, but it just what broke me was I think the last season I played, I was number 1 in points for and number 1 in points against.
Oh, that happens all the time.
My defense was just leaking like a sieve out there. Just couldn't stop anyone, apparently. No, I was just playing everybody. Like, I would just have great weeks, and I'd be looking at my players or watching NFL, and I'd be like, oh, dude, I'm having a week. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. And then, sure enough, their players are just having an even better week. It was just
everyone just goes off against you.
I was just broken. I was a broken man. I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
You can't let that get you out. You know, you can't let that stop you from getting back on the saddle.
I know. I need to get back in the game. So. How was your Christmas? Good little Christmas, huh?
Yeah, not bad. Good to see family. I'm gone in Arizona during this time of year, so yeah. So it was different seeing some of the people I haven't seen in a few years.
Gotcha.
A lot of small talk, eating food, but enjoying.
How about this weather?
The football being played during the time, especially Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Hawaii Bowl. That was that the San Jose State game?
Yeah, 5 OTs.
That's right. I was doing a lot of cooking. I roasted a chicken on the Christmas Eve. Whoa. I made some mashed potatoes. Did a whole chicken roast, green beans. It was just me, Joey, and the girlfriend. And so I was like, you know what? If we're gonna be at home for Christmas Eve and just be us three, then I'm going to throw down. I'm going to roast a goddamn chicken. I wanted to brine it the night before, like in water overnight, but I got rid of my brine bucket somewhere. I had a bucket specifically to brine chicken, and I don't know where it went. Just
that
gone.
Damn bucket, that brine bucket.
Yeah, so I got everything. I got the rosemary, I got the lemon, I got the peppercorns, I had bay leaves, I had everything. I was ready to go.
Wow.
No brine. I did make it a solid compound butter, though.
Ooh.
Lathered that chicken up with that. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Eating good.
Yep. I could hear you just get a boner right now.
I saw you. Did you get Joey a Liverpool kit?
That was a lady. I got him a Timbers jersey, the one that just came out last year, the maroon one, the old Timbers. Yeah. I got him that one.
That one's sick. I have that.
Yeah, I got him that like 2 months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna save this for Christmas. But he wanted a Liverpool jersey, so he got a Liverpool jersey, and then she also got him like a Liverpool jumpsuit, like a matching jacket.
I think that's what I saw. Yeah,
jacket, sweatpants. Yeah, I just posted on posted a picture of him on Instagram. Yeah. He looks like a fucking mob boss the way he's like sitting back in this chair. I was like, dude, it looks like he's about to call a hit or something like that. Like he's like a British goon. Like,
say Jurgen Klopp calling him in.
Listen, I need him killed before the Reds go on the pitch at 12.
Yeah.
I don't want to see his face.
Obviously never a Liverpool fan, but it's pretty sweet. Sweet
Yeah,
six.
well, it's good to be a Liverpool fan right now.
It is.
Took care of the Foxes of Leicester City a couple of days ago, and then absolutely just dismantled Tottenham like a week and a half ago or something.
We just
That was nice.
played the Leicester Foxes yesterday
Yeah.
and beat them up. That was our first win in like 13 games. So yeah, it's been rough.
Well, that's not the football I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Got a little off tangent there. You got a nice little Christmas present though, huh? The day, what was it? The day after? No, not the day after Christmas. What was that, Saturday with your Chargers? Absolutely
Making the
dominating, putting
Yeah.
up 40 on the Patriots and clinching their playoff spot.
You can't ask for much more than that,
No, I think was that the 9 a.m. That was the 9 a.m. game that day, right? Yeah, I think I definitely slept in, and I woke up, and I think it was 20-7 by the time I woke up, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
What a way to clinch the playoff spot, huh?
Yeah, seriously, man.
Just leave no doubt.
Finally, Vlad McConkey, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, what was the DB for the Patriots was just trying to get in his head, was being a douchebag, and McConkey's like, let me burn you for a couple.
Didn't work. Our defense stepped up that day. We looked good, although the Patriots offense is horrible, so I'm not going to take much stock in that.
Yes.
But it's nice to be back in the playoffs, and if we win the next game and the Bengals win against the Steelers, we'll steal that 4 spot and we'll play the Texans instead, or that 5
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, if you are, well, any team that is in the AFC playoffs as a wild card, you have got to be licking your chops at playing the Texans. I don't care if it's at Houston. All right, like the Texans have looked. Obviously, they looked bad on Christmas, but they basically since week like 6 or 7 or whatever it is, they have been one of the most inconsistent, weirdest fuck around teams. And the only wins that they have since let's see, I'm trying to get the schedule up right now. So their last real convincing win was against the Cowboys. So go figure.
Tank Dell getting hurt definitely hurts them.
See again, but they were kind of bad before that even happened.
No, yeah, you're right. They were struggling.
But it was week 6. At week 6, they were 5-1. So they have gone 4-6 since that point, since October 13th. And then even some of their wins, the win against Indianapolis, I remember that one. They fucked around towards the end. They were looking to go up 2 possessions, and they were lucky to win that by a field goal. Them beating Jacksonville, they let Jacksonville score late to tie it up, and then they ended up getting a game-winning field goal. I mean, Miami, that game against Miami, when they came off the bye week, less than 200 yards of offense for them. And then they get bounced by Kansas City and then just steamrolled by Baltimore. Houston's not a good team right now. And again, if you are a Chargers fan, I was saying this on Sunday on my show. I was just praying that Herbert, Harbaugh, and them get that seed, the 5th seed, to play the Texans, because I want to see them get at least one playoff win this year.
That would be awesome.
I don't care who it's against. I would
get one, and you're playing with house money. You can make a run at it. Who knows?
Well, and also get some confidence that you belong there, depending on how the game goes. I know the Steelers have not looked great over the last 3 weeks, but I would much rather go to Houston for a playoff game than go to Pittsburgh for a playoff game, regardless of how both those teams are playing.
Yeah. I mean, the Texans scoring 2 points on that safety is all they scored against the Ravens is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, that's a moral victory right there. You didn't get shut out.
Those Christmas Day games were pretty much stinkers, throughout, just blowouts. Really, not even close.
Yeah. No, it was Christmas Day. I think the NBA got the win on Christmas.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Boy, they were happy that happened. They're like, see, our product's so much better. It's like, all right.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you still like NFL still got like 8 times more ratings than they did,
They
even
did.
being on Netflix.
Yeah. And Netflix was having troubles with their streaming, it seemed like. I don't know.
I didn't notice anything at my dad's. It was actually pretty funny. So my dad doesn't have Netflix, but you can log into Netflix on like the Comcast box.
Yep.
So I just used my girlfriend's login, and I don't know what processor, an Intel GPU, CPU, what they're using in the Comcast box. It took me legitimately 10 minutes just to type in her email and password. That thing was it was like I would press the remote to move over to a letter and it wouldn't do anything. And then like 10 seconds, 15 seconds later, it'd like skip across the keyboard.
The whole entire thing. Yeah.
So I had to strategically like press the button 6 times, wait. It would then go over to the E. I'd select it. I'd press it then down to the like it was ridiculous, but I made it happen. But yeah, I mean the Christmas Day games, they were terrible. And the way that the Saturday, and then oh my God, the Thursday night game,
it didn't get better.
What an absolute classic between the Seahawks and the Bears.
It's like pulling teeth, like to get anything good out of those teams. It was hard to watch.
That's one of those where it's so bad it's good.
Yeah. It's like who's gonna fuck up last, you know?
Yeah, it's a train wreck. You can't look away. When you have my girlfriend admitting, she's on her phone and then just looks over in the fourth quarter and she goes, "Oh my God, is anybody going to score?"
Yeah.
I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, Alyssa said that same thing to me. She was like, "So, how many points do you think they actually?" This is like the second quarter. How many points do you think they score in this game? I was like, "They're not scoring many. I guarantee that."
I was like, "This is it. 6-3. This is all we're getting."
I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but yeah, it was pretty terrible. But back to real quick, the Chargers making the playoffs at the start of this year. I don't know what I really thought. I didn't really think too much of like I thought maybe it'd be a break-in year for us. I was not sold on the weapons around Herbert, and I'm still not sold on those guys.
I mean, McConkey's come on nice, but yeah. And then what's his nuts? Stone Smart.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a 4th string tight end. Like, Will Dissly's been hurt in and out of the lineup. Hayden Hurst has also been hurt. But Ladd McConkey, the rookie, like slot wide receiver, definitely leading our team right now. And that's not exactly what you want from your team. I guess Josh Palmer stepped up sometimes, but Quentin Johnston, I call him 50-50 because you never know if he's
you don't know if he's going to catch it or score a touchdown.
Who knows with that guy? Like, it's just the most infuriating thing. But really just at the coaching change over the offseason, how big of a change and culture change that has been to our team. It's enough that we could win 10 games this year off of, I think, less talent than what we had last year.
Yeah. Goes to show what coaching will do. You won't give up 63 points against Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I'm happy back in the playoffs. And it feels good, It feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it does. I want to know anything about that. Yeah, we're not going to get into the Cowboys too much, but I thought they would have a little bit of fight in them against Philadelphia, go out swinging. They did
in that first quarter.
Was that after the pick six?
Yeah, well,
because that was pretty early.
The first quarter ended 7-7, so it was competitive, ready to go. And then that second quarter, 17-0, 10-0, 7-0. So, like, it just got progressively worse. And Saquon Barkley got fed the ball 31 times.
God.
Didn't matter who the Eagles were putting in at Q. Kenny Pickett goes in there, gets hurt. Tanner McKee comes out, gets his first.
Yeah, who'd have guessed that Tanner McKee was the third stringer?
Not me, because I was like, oh my God, I saw Kenny Pickett go down and get hurt, and I was like, who's who the hell's coming in?
Tanner McKee.
Tanner McKee? What year? Like, he just kind of reminds me of every other Stanford quarterback, which is, I mean,
good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, smart guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
first one to get here, last one to leave.
Yeah. But the Eagles Cowboys was just like basically the reverse of Chargers. Patriots.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, I mean, if you're the Chargers, you got to be hoping, praying that. I mean, what do you need at this point? You just need the Steelers to take a loss against the Bengals. Is that who they're playing?
Yeah, Steelers. Yeah, Steelers lose to the Bengals, and the Chargers beat. Who are we even playing next week?
Chargers, last Raiders. Game of the year. I was going to say, please say it's the Raiders.
we played the Raiders.
Well, I mean, the Bengals are going to be fighting like hell against the Steelers.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a great chance that the Steelers do end up losing that game, especially with the way they've been playing the last few weeks. Yeah. They had their 3 losses before this losing streak were all by 1 possession. Their 3 straight losses have all been by multiple possessions.
Yeah.
And you see like them against like actual good playoff teams. Who they played? It was the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. Like, and yeah, there's clearly like, it's been fun, Tomlin. It's been fun, Russ, but you know, good luck in the playoffs. I mean, I could see them losing their first round game to whoever they play, whether it's, I mean, God, if it's Houston, Pittsburgh in the first round, fucking A.
Yeah.
How annoying would that be?
That's going to be, I mean, you might as well, that's a total game that the Steelers somehow gut out and win. You know, Russell Wilson somehow leads them.
Yeah. I mean, again, the Steelers still have a chance at the division. And I was saying earlier, like, I'd rather go to, you know, Houston than Pittsburgh. I mean, the chances of LA going to Pittsburgh at this point, probably pretty slim if the Ravens take care of business on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing if it's the end of the year, the Ravens are taking on the Browns. No, they've played the Browns twice now already. So they only played them once. They lost to the Browns earlier this year, but they will be finishing up against the Browns. So, and the Browns can't do anything offensively with DTR. So I think the Ravens are going to be clinching up that division. Yeah. So if you guys can avoid the 7 seed or the 6 seed and get that Houston matchup in the first round, that'd be ideal.
I do feel good that we played the Ravens pretty close on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. Yeah, Sunday Night Football a few weeks back. It was a really good game. We were winning at halftime. Like, I know we could play with them.
That was a good game, yeah.
So if that does break that way, I'm fine. Obviously, don't want to play the Chiefs at all. I don't think I have to worry about that, which is nice. But don't want to play the Bills either. So,
yeah, I mean, I was talking about this on Friday. I filled in on the morning show, and I was talking to my co-host Patrick about it, that like, when you look at all the playoff teams or teams that have clinched a berth or could potentially go to the playoffs, I really only can envision 4 teams winning the Super Bowl this year. Like, I have the Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. I could see them all winning it. And then I could see the Lions winning it. Other than that, I don't see anybody in the NFC winning it. So it may come out of the NFC different than the Lions, but I don't see anybody being able to actually pull it off.
I mean, I think it is going to be Eagles, Lions, or like in the NFC.
See, and I think that the Lions, if they go up against the Eagles in Detroit, I'll take Detroit 10 times out of 10 on that.
I mean, hear me out a little bit. Do you think the Bucks somehow like put together a little run behind Baker Mayfield right now and Bucky Irving? Let Buck run, bro.
Well, the Buccaneers offense, I mean, and they potentially
right. Yeah, I'm going to go back. That defense is not very good.
But I mean, dude, when their offense is clicking, they have one of the best offenses in the league. Baker's probably the best quarterback in the NFC this year.
Can you imagine if Chris Godwin didn't get hurt? Oh,
They're third in passing yards, fourth in rushing yards, fourth in points for in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like if if the Bucks are able to make a run because of that offense, I mean, it's like if we can just, keep up with these teams, which some of these teams outside of the Lions and the Eagles, like what teams do you have to, technically keep up with that are in the NFC playoffs? I mean, the Packers, yeah, they can score points, but if they're not at home, then they're they're better than average, but they're not going to pop off for 40, 45, it seems like, unless they play the Cowboys in the first round. I mean, the Commanders offense, that can have its moments too.
Dude, the Commanders, shockingly. Hey, I have to ask you a question real quick while it's on my mind looking through these scores. Do you think that the offense ran better with Mac Jones than it did Trevor Lawrence this year? I mean, at
It kind of
times,
did.
I was like,
yes, it did.
the production. I know that the Jags played a few bad teams at the end of the year when Mac Jones was in there, but the last two games, they started feeding Brian Thomas finally. He had seven receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown against the Titans. I know the Titans are really bad, but still, it was very comparable play at QB.
Yeah, well, Mac, he's back home playing for his hometown team, playing inspired football. I mean, for God's sakes, like the Jags, I guess like them playing better is a way you could describe it, but still, I mean, like the most amount of points they're putting up every game is like anywhere between like 14 to 20 at most.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was still, it was still ugly football down there.
Yeah, their line is still really bad.
Yeah, not good.
That not good. Change. But I was very. I mean, I just keep being surprised by this Vikings team, especially defensively.
I can't believe we've made it this far in the season, and they are in the position that they are. I thought surely they would have had a little run where they, lost a couple games, went on a losing streak. I mean, they are 14-2 for God's sakes.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell has Sam Darnold playing really well.
I mean, coach of the year.
Yeah.
Lock it in. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the odds are, but he's got to be walking away with this.
Him or Dan Quinn? Dan Quinn taking this Commanders team to 11-5 right now. I didn't see that happening. I thought the Commanders were going to be pretty bad still.
Yeah, but I would say like there were some people that thought that the Commanders would be at least better. Nobody thought the Vikings were going to be good, like at all. Like what was their preseason win total was probably, I think, at like 6.5 or something. Like it was, no one was giving them a shot. And right now, O'Connell at 280, Dan Quinn's at plus 1,000 to win it.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, O'Connell minus 280, Dan Campbell plus 270. But I mean, I can't believe that they're going to beat Detroit next week and pull that off. I just can't bring myself to it.
You think they are, or you?
I don't think they will. No, I can't think that they're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's tough because Detroit's pretty hurt defensively. Their defense is not been too great the last few weeks. And I know their D coordinator was rumored, I think, Aaron Glenn, for a few maybe interviews for head coaching jobs. When that always happens, I'm always a believer that their head's not all in it. They're not going to be giving it all, But they need to be a lot better. For the Lions are so good offensively that they just need a few pretty good stops on defense, and they'll be good.
The total points for that one is set at 52.5.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is like, even though with all the defensive injuries, is that this Lions offense is able to just like weather the storm and get out to early leads and just put up points on teams where it just doesn't seem to affect them as much as it should. unless, Flores is able to drop a game plan and take away make Jared Goff be a little bit hurried, make bad decisions, hurry up his progressions, send some blitzes, do some exotic stuff, stunts, all that shit, where he's able to give the Lions offensive line a look they haven't seen and just confuse them and get Jared Goff, getting antsy in the pocket and having a bad game. That's where I can see the Vikings doing this, but I can't. It's one of those I won't believe it until I see it moments.
Yeah, I agree.
I really can't remember a team like this where not just like, oh yeah, well they were projected to finish last in their division and only win 7 games, and then look at them now. They're not just going to the playoffs. They are literally fighting for the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
It's fucking wild. Yeah, it's extremely impressive. And also, if you're the Vikings, I think you got to bring Sam Darnold back. Did you see the video of him going into the locker room after the game last night?
Oh yeah, just getting a bath.
Oh dude, that team, they are like, you can't fuck with that.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't after this season, and you see the locker room rally around a guy like that. Like, you can't let him go. And he's not going to cost, he's not going to be fucking 50, 60 mil, for God's sakes.
He'll probably be like 40 mil.
Yeah, that's what I think you got to pay him. Give him a 3-year, 40 mil, 45 per year. And I think he'll be happy with that too. And
let JJ McCarthy just cook.
Just get healthy. Yeah, exactly. And then if he starts to suck over the next couple of years, then you have your backup plan. We've seen obviously teams, or at least we've seen one team this year. It's like, hey, we just gave this quarterback a huge contract, but he sucks right now, so we're going to go to the backup. And that was the Falcons.
Yeah,
who they're fighting for their playoff life.
Yeah, the Falcons, they still haven't looked that great with Penix back there, but
no, and they weren't too bad in the first half. They didn't really do shit in the second half against the Commanders until that final drive.
Yeah,
which, by the way,
points in the second half, it was not good.
No, yeah, they were. I think at one point their offense had showed them in the fourth quarter they had 9 yards or something halfway through the fourth. It was not good.
I'm still not a believer in the Commanders' defense. I still don't think they're that good.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like we need to bring it back real quick to the Saturday with the two, or at least the Broncos Bengals, and how that went to OT.
Oh, dude, that was one of the best games of the year.
I couldn't believe it.
And that game was wild.
Just when you
thought the Broncos and Bo Nix were out of it, they tied the game at 17s. Bengals go up a touchdown, and then Bo Nix completes that fucking just basically
absolute
throw it
dart.
up, 4th down, pray to God, and Cortland Sutton gets it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think that one was Marvin Mims, in the.
Was that Mims on the to tie it at 24?
I think so. Yeah. But earlier, Bo had that absolute dart down the middle of the field. It was 60-yard bomb or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Earlier in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. I could not believe that throw.
It's Mims.
What I was pissed off about is, Fisher, I bet the under in that game.
Oh, boy.
Did you see? I was sitting at a cool 10 points at halftime.
Oh, cool
10 points at halftime.
Defenses were playing great.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I got 40.5 points in hand for the second half. Nope. Nope. And it had to go. It didn't matter that it went to OT, but still it went to OT. It did. I was hoping for the tie. I was rooting for the tie actively at that point.
God, I wish the Broncos in overtime would have gotten that first down, because I really would have liked to see if Sean Payton would have been okay with just fuck it, let's kneel it out, let's get out of here with a tie.
You are, because that seals
It sealed the playoff.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted it to happen, because I wanted to see, like, NFL teams, when they're in these scenarios, they're so just like alpha male, like, no, we want to go and fucking win the ball game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sean Payton, being in the league as long as he is like, if I have a shot to make the playoffs and all I need to do is just kneel out the ball to clinch my spot and eliminate the team that I'm playing right now, I'm fucking kneeling that ball.
Yeah. No,
like,
I mean,
I don't care.
They just
I don't care
it first.
Out if it's like, oh, you're not going to try and win this game. It's like, no, I don't need to.
And honestly, the Cam, who I'm going against in fantasy, he had Joe Burrow, which had 9 points total at halftime. I'm like, oh, we're doing great. Finishes the game with 40 points. And I'm like, what the fuck? He even ran it. He ran in. He did a sneak, and he ran in his second touchdown of the whole year of rushing. I was like, what the fuck's going on right now? Like,
did you say you're going up against Jahmyr Gibbs or he's on your team?
I'm going against him.
It's not looking good, bud.
Well, it was looking good when Goff threw that Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown earlier, because I was within 10 points. I was like, all I need is one more Jared Goff to St. Brown touchdown, and I might have a chance there.
Well, the Lions picked off the ball.
I saw that.
And Gibbs just ran it in from 30 yards out. So,
oh, he scored?
Gibbs scored, yeah.
Oh, my fucking God.
That's why I was saying it's not looking good.
117 yards all of a sudden? Oh, I'm so fucked. This guy could not be any luckier. I cannot believe it, dude. It's literally anything that needs to happen happens for him. It's like, and I'm having a great week too.
I can imagine Cam Steph in his home right now. Just, let's fucking go, baby. That's right.
But dude, he doesn't need another fucking. He leads our league in championships. It's going to be another one for him. Like,
he's a dynasty.
It's so ridiculous. This kid. He's 161 points he has right now. It's like, fuck off. That's insane.
That's too funny. So, all right. Because the Bengals beat the Broncos, like, they're going to pull this off and they're going to go to the playoffs. Yeah. Somehow the Broncos are going to lose to a Mahomes-less Chiefs team. Just somehow they're going to fuck it up. The Bengals are going to somehow beat the Steelers. Not even somehow. It's just going to be easy for them, I bet. And then, and then they're in. Actually, I think the Dolphins actually have a better chance than the Bengals do to make the playoffs.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm getting it all pulled up.
I think it might be the Bengals.
Okay, I got the scenarios. Broncos just need to win or tie, and they're in. The Bengals need a win and a Denver loss and a Miami loss against the Jets.
Okay.
And the Dolphins just need to win, and they need a Denver loss. So right now, Cincinnati has the worst chances.
Yep.
Because they need more things to happen. They need two teams to lose, and then they need to win. And I mean, yeah, the Dolphins are playing the fucking Jets, and the Broncos are playing.
Jets are quit watch for sure.
NFL, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Kansas City ends up winning with no Patrick Mahomes, or the Jets somehow beating the Dolphins. I mean, Tua's probably not going to play again against the Jets. I
mean, keep Huntley in there, whatever.
Well, they're not playing DTR this time, so.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So, I don't know. There's part of me that is just kind of like, with the Bengals beating the Broncos, it's like one of those destiny things. Bengals have rattled off 4 in a row. It's like they're going to do it. They're going to somehow sneak their way into this thing.
Yeah, well, I hope the Bengals get sent home packing.
It would be nice. I mean, if there's one team that hopes that the Bengals, I mean, here's the thing too, is like, if you're Kansas City, do you just roll over and let the Broncos beat you, so that way you don't ever have the chance of facing Joe Burrow and the Bengals in the playoffs this year?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the one team over the last however many years. I mean, the only team that has prevented you from getting to a Super Bowl. outside of the Brady Patriots,
Yep.
is Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So it's like, well, fuck that. We don't want to deal with him at any point. So let's just let Denver win. I'm sure you can get that locker room in Kansas City of grown ass men, NFL players that are trying to play either for their next contract or are going to be on the team next year. I'm sure you can tell them to purposely lose.
The tough part is like some of those players are playing for incentives. So,
yeah.
Like contract incentives. And it's like, that they're going to be probably trying their hardest, right?
Well, that's what cracks me up about the Giants winning this last week against the Colts. Like, the Giants organization has every incentive to lose that first, so they can get the first overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But then you have like 30 dudes on the roster that like, I may or may not be on this team next year. So I really don't fucking care what draft pick they get. So
the majority
Drew Lock just going to have one of the best games a quarterback can have. And a scenario that doesn't matter at all to them.
The absolute shootout they had.
Did you hear I think it was like a Drew Lock, his like EPA for that game, because he threw for like 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and then he ran one in himself. And he did it on like 23 passes. Yeah, 17 for 23, 309 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. I think it was he did 4 and 1. It was like literally one of the best stat lines, like one of the best quarterback performances.
Just efficient.
It would have been nice if he did that last week for me when I bet on them against when I bet on the Giants to cover against the Falcons, those bastards.
Yeah.
Of course, they do it the very next week. But I mean, the Broncos, they're probably going to beat the Chiefs. I would think if they don't have Mahomes. And then the Dolphins, I mean, they could lose that game to the Jets. I mean, honestly, if they don't have Tua, that offense is just
nothing.
It is, yeah. If they don't have Tua, that offense can't do anything. And
they
then
did
the
have
Bengals
Tyreek Hill a little bit more involved than he has been over the past few weeks. They gave him 9 receptions, 105 yards, which is more than what he's had in the past, even with Tua. So,
yeah. But you know what cracks me up is that the NFC South is going to be decided this week too. And it comes down to Tampa taking on the Saints and the Falcons taking on Carolina. Which shittier team is going to perform better and prevent one of these teams from not going in? I mean, all Tampa has to do is just win or tie.
Watch the Panthers win and beat
against Atlanta.
No, watch the Atlanta win, beat the Panthers, and the Bucs somehow lose.
If the Bucs lose to New Orleans, I swear to fucking God, dude.
And the Falcons just sneak in.
I swear to God, the Buccaneers better not fuck. I love Tampa. I love Baker. I think their offense is fucking on point. When it's
I love watching Bucky.
Yes, Bucky. I mean, that goes without saying. I mean, if they somehow fuck this up, I will turn my backs on them so quick. They should not be in the position of losing this game. Like, they just go out and fucking win against the Saints, who are playing some of the worst football in the league right now.
Yeah, the Saints are awful. Spencer Rattler at quarterback, that's bad.
Dude, I'm serious. If they fuck this up somehow.
So did the Rams clinch the NFC West?
They did because of the Commanders win. Like, if it comes down to tiebreakers between them and the Seahawks, then like, even if the Seahawks beat them next week and they are tied, then they'll have like the head-to-head will go away. The divisional record will go away. And then I think it's like strength of victory after that or something like that.
Okay. But the Rams hot right now, 5 straight. They're winning ugly.
Hansel so hot right now.
Yeah. It's not always pretty with them, but they're doing enough to get it done. And at this time of year, that's all that matters. So,
yeah, man, McVay, Stafford, can't count them out.
yeah.
So, for divisional, how to break a tie within a division, head-to-head, best one-loss tie percentage in games between the teams, best one-loss tied percentage in games between the division, best one-loss tied percentage in common games. So I think that's going to be the same as well. And then best record or best percentage in games played within the conference. I think that would be the same as well. And so then the fifth tiebreaker it comes down to is strength of victory in all games, and the Rams would have a better strength of victory.
Okay.
Well, that's what happens when you beat the Bears 6-3.
Yeah. Seriously. We'll know early because that Bengals Steelers game's on Saturday.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's a Saturday late game at 5.
So 2 games on Saturday. Yeah, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. So they're going to get that division sorted out on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go into Sunday knowing whether it's just the Dolphins, Broncos that are up for that final wild card spot, or if it's going to be the Bengals will still have a chance.
Yeah, that's a big game on Saturday night.
Yeah, 5 o'clock ESPN game. Oh, they're doing doubleheader on ESPN, ABC. Okay.
Of course.
Well, the Bahamas Bowl might just have to take a back seat.
I don't know.
My beloved Bahamas Bowl. Bahamania.
Bahamania. We'll see how many people sneak into the game this year.
Past the security guards.
Yeah.
I know that archery and rifle shooting outside of the stadium might be enticing. Might just keep people outside the stadium.
You might.
Jesus, Baltimore's an 18-point favorite against the Browns.
Oh, God.
Dear Lord.
Oh,
Dear
God.
Lord.
Yeah, that's bad.
So speaking of the Bahamas Bowl, do we want to jump over to college?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, we
really break down this Bahama Bowl matchup.
Well, before even close to the Bahama Bowl, there was a bunch of games that went on since we last talked. I mean, we briefly talked about that 5OT Hawaii Bowl that was on Christmas Eve. Always nice to get a shootout. You knew that was going to happen with the Hawaii Bowl for some reason. It was meant to be that way, I feel like.
Yeah, it's too bad Ken Niumatalolo couldn't get the dub back in his home state.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He had would he have that Hawaiian lei on too? He was looking like he was just a part of the Hawaii team and not his team, but whatever. Then you go to the day after Christmas, and no one wanted to win that. Was it the Game Above Sports Bowl? It was wild.
Is like, I had to do my research. I'm like, wait, who the hell's Game Above? I was like, and did they really just name this bowl the Sports Bowl? I was like, they're just not even trying at this point. And then I realized that Game Above is like an entertainment media company, and sports is one of their branches, like one of their parts of their business. So it's Game Above Sports Bowl. So they have Game Above Sports, they have Game Above Entertainment, they have Game Above Giving, Game Above Media. So it was just Game Above Sports Bowl. But the way that it looks is that it's brought to you by Game Above, and the bowl game is just called the Sports Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw. Did you watch any of that game?
I did a little bit. I was catching a little bit of it because I went into the office and I was like one of 4 people there, so I had rights to the TV.
Yeah,
so I popped that bitch on.
We went from a 5OT on Christmas Eve to the day after Christmas going to a 6OT.
I love the dedication of college football, just being like, yeah, we know it's a bowl game and they don't really matter, but you're gonna play as many OTs as this game needs.
Yeah, this is gonna be a thriller. Okay.
You're going to play fucking OT, all right?
It was pretty awesome. I'm not sure any of them really know situational football at the end. Like, I don't know what the fuck these 2 coaches were doing. Jason Candle was an idiot too, so I don't know. Pat Narduzzi he just wanted to keep running plays, I think. So, I mean, that was a lot of fun to start it out, and then he had another shootout game with Kansas State Rutgers. I thought Rutgers was gonna win that game. Kansas State comes storming back. Dylan Edwards runs for almost 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's a small guy, but he's quick, man. Dylan Edwards.
Kansas State, they love their
Yeah,
small, feisty running backs.
I know. It's perfect school for him, and he went back home anyway. He's from Kansas.
Hey, I have to say though, did you see what happened later that night?
What with my Hall of Fame tight end that's coming to the Chargers next year?
You know, I did a mock draft today where I drafted as the Cowboys. I was able to snag him.
No, he's not a Cowboy guy. No.
Oh, yeah. I think he might be just him and Jake Ferguson. He'll just take Jake Ferguson's spot.
No, he's going to fucking take Will Dissly's spot. That's what's going to happen.
I don't know. Throw him out at slot receiver, throw him out at tight end, have them all over the place. But 17 receptions.
Yeah. 17 receptions, 213 yards, and a touchdown. I was like, this is his last game in college. I'm betting his
they're just going to feed him
receiving yards over. I bet it over 101. It happened in the first half.
Yeah, Harold Fanning Jr. just going out with a bang.
I mean, what is it? The Titans of Mackey, right?
The award?
Yeah.
Christ. I don't know. Have they given away all their awards already? Yes.
I know Tyler Warren probably won it, but Harold Fannin Jr., this guy, was electric this year.
Yeah, John Mackey Award, yeah.
Yeah, I was on him from the start of the season, and he proved me right through the whole entire year. Fun to watch, and hope that he goes to the Chargers in this draft coming up.
I don't know, man. I was crushing my draft. I had a day. I was able to turn around this Cowboys franchise in just one draft. It was amazing.
You go on to the Friday night, or I guess Friday, when Navy comes storming back and beats Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Horvath had to, I don't know how long that run was.
That Navy wins the Armed Forces Bowl.
Yeah. It's like almost you needed to let them win.
Also, the Unsullied Birmingham Bowl, sponsored by no one. I guess the city of Birmingham sponsored it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know who's on that account, who's on that sales team trying to sell the Birmingham Bowl, but they need their ass fired for not getting a sponsor for that.
Yeah.
How dare they?
At least get something in there.
I mean, for God's sakes, what are we doing? Is this amateur hour? Is that the only bowl game that wasn't sponsored? Whatever the hell the Rate Bowl is.
Yeah. I mean, Diego Pavia.
Good for him.
Getting that extra year of eligibility now. The junior college rule they're putting into place. Which opens up a big fucking door of a bunch of players about to try to get more eligibility.
Yeah.
Everyone's about to be BYU with fucking 30-year-olds on the team. And then we got our boy Lincoln Riley getting more SEC wins than Kentucky had this year. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Was a win against LSU and then a win against Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's more than Kentucky had all year. They were actually in the conference. So
also, I don't know if you were able to catch on Sports Center right after that game ended, but they went and interviewed Jacoby Lane.
Oh, dude, Jacoby Lane, this guy.
Did you hear him talk?
I didn't hear him talk, no, but
dude, go find it. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think, he's got to be 18, I think. His voice, man, he sounds like a 12-year-old.
Super high pitch.
Oh yeah, like his voice when he started talking, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, he's a sophomore, so I mean, he might be 19, but
yeah, I mean, he did dominate in that game, but still, like,
yeah, I was shocked.
It seems like I don't know, a deeper voice.
I was not expecting that voice to come out of him. It was bizarre. But, classic SC, shitty regular season, win a meaningless bowl game. That's how it goes.
Yep, that's how Lincoln Riley gets everyone to buy back in real quick. Oh, don't worry,
Yeah.
we went 7-6, beat that Texas A&M team that everyone loved.
Hey, we got the Las Vegas Bowl dub, okay? What more do you want?
It's kind of like, okay, here we go. It's the same old thing with USC. When I was talking about Kentucky, did you see that Kentucky's quarterback, Brock Vandagriff, medically retired from
He
football?
retired, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what? I didn't know this guy was dealing with shit like that, but
what was it? Was it just some cussies?
I think so. I think it was like way too many.
Yeah. I feel like that's usually what it is when you see quarterbacks retiring from college football. It's like, I'm going to be drinking through a straw if I take one more hit, or eating through a straw rather.
What's funny is that guy was a starter for 1 year in college. He must have just been getting lit up in Georgia practices.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's just like, what?
He's about to have a Reggie Ray moment.
Yeah.
Say good day for Reggie Ray.
That fucking Pop-Tarts bowl, though.
Yeah, that was a good one. And how dare Cam Ward? I cannot believe he would sit out the second half of the beloved historical tradition-filled Pop-Tart Bowl. How dare he?
The guy had 190 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half. And then Miami, in the second half, when he didn't play, could score only 10 points. And got lucky to score 10 points.
I drop his draft grade. He's a second round, maybe third round guy. He might be a day 3 guy for me now because of that move.
That was a bitch. But some of the throws that Cam Ward makes, though, you're just kind of like, he's like flat-footed in the pocket, and he'll just rip it to the side. You're like, it's like, what is that? Like mechanics, and like his feet look just awful sometimes, but then he just puts a dart out there, and you're like, what the hell? That does not make sense.
If I'm an NFL GM and I have that pick and we need a quarterback, I'm going Cam Ward over Shedeur.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Shedeur is a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but I think he is in for a rude awakening in the NFL.
I think
as far as like in the locker room and on the field goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dion, I'm hoping that Dion can somehow get in his ear and like tell him like what to expect. Like, if you think you're going to walk in there and these guys are going to respect you just because you're the number 1, 2, 3 overall pick and you're supposed to be their quarterback of the future, like they don't give a fuck about that. Like,
not at all.
You have to earn their respect in that locker room, and you have to go and be a leader and not just think shit's going to happen easily just because of who you are and how good you think you are. Like,
I mean, they got shut out in the first half against BYU. It was 20.
Hey, you wouldn't have known it if you talked to Dave Pasch, though.
Yeah, well, I'm so sick of Colorado's the best team to really do nothing, like. I mean, I agree they had a better season than what I thought they were going to, but they were in the fucking Big 12, and usually the good teams they played, they lost. And Travis Hunter, our Heisman, he 4 receptions, 106 yards, and majority of those yards came on one play and then a touchdown. Right. So it's like he didn't really look great defensively either. There was a picture of him getting like dragged in the end zone by a BYU running back. So
Yep. 210 total yards.
It's just, and they're like, oh, Shedeur should have been up for the Heisman. And you just watch that, like, fucking him go play against BYU, and you're like, this guy takes far too many sacks. Like, I don't care. You got to get rid of the ball at some point. Your clock is not going to get any easier. Once you get in the NFL, it's going to get harder.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw that with Caleb, right? In year 1, it's like, dude, the shit that you got away with in college, you just can't.
Good luck.
Yeah, you won't get away. I still really believe in Caleb because he makes some plays out there for the Bears that like some throws where I'm just like, dude, like you want to talk about a guy that rips it. He just has such a torque to his throw that like when he gets out on the run, it's insane. The thing is though, is that, he does like, even when there is pressure, it's like, dude, you don't have to take the sack or you don't have to try and bail out of the sack and then add an extra 7-8 yards onto it. I mean, Shedeur, I think it's going to be a rough first year for him wherever he goes. Obviously, you're going to a team that already sucks. So whether it's Tennessee, whether it's Oakland, whether it's New York, whatever, it's going to suck. But I think he's going to have a rough first year. But that BYU game, the commentating, it reminded me of their first game of the year against North Dakota State, like where, yes, they won, but it was like a lot closer than they were hoping for.
It was a really fucking close game.
But Mark Jones and the commentating crew, I forget who was with him. Maybe it was Greg McElroy. I forget, but holy shit, they could not just stop glazing Colorado. And it's like, gosh, this team, I mean, how impressive. I was like, you almost lost to North Dakota State. All right. That is not impressive. Okay.
North Dakota State's in the FCS championship against Montana.
I understand that. But anytime FCS goes up against FBS, I don't care what the situation, FBS should always win. And they should win by at least 2 possessions.
Okay.
Not have to score in the end of the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that game was far too close for Colorado being what they were supposed to be,
But what other bowl games? Enough about Colorado. We're falling into the media trap.
But, I mean, Nebraska beats Boston College. TCU beats Louisiana.
Yeah, good for Patrick Mahomes to get that bowl win.
Yeah, I mean...
we still got to deal with him for another 2 years.
I know. It's going to be fucking the Walmart Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. He really wasn't that impressive to me anyway. Really, there was a bunch of blowouts like after that, I feel like.
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl was it was not as cool as the advertiser for that one.
Oh, let me tell you a bad beat I had in that game, by the way.
The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl?
Yeah. So I had, what's his name? Brett Gabbert, the quarterback for Miami, Ohio.
Blaine's brother?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, Brett Gabbert. So Brett Gabbert at halftime, I bet Brett Gabbert over 192 pass yards.
Oh boy, Tanner.
At halftime, Brett Gabbert had 172 pass yards. In the last, 2 quarters, he had 12 pass yards. That should have been an automatic lock. 172 pass yards. All I need is 20 pass yards in the second half. That should be pretty easy, right? That's a couple first downs. Nope. He falls at 184. 12 yards passing in the second half.
Well, that's your own fault for betting Brett Gabbert.
I mean, that's a bad beat. That's a bad beat.
Yeah, but dear God, man. I mean, you're asking for it betting stuff like that.
I mean, I have a little running tally of my bowl props right now.
This segment brought to you by 1-800-GAMBLING.
No, these are great, by the way. Brady Cook over 182.5 today was easy. I guess, my record's not great in the bowls. I am 18-12 with my player props. So, okay, but 19-12 now with Cook. So,
well, we have gone through just about all of bowl season. We'll get some games tomorrow. but the most important game of the day.
Yeah, we got the college football playoff here, the quarterfinals. Seems like we've been waiting forever for these.
It has been. I mean, I know that, what was it? When were these games? This was a week and a half ago?
Yeah. Like,
just about, right?
Yeah, and the amount of times I've woken up and told Alyssa, like, "Oh my gosh, I just had another Rose Bowl dream." I've been dreaming the last 3 nights, I've had Rose Bowl dreams. Like, I woke up and it's all the Rose Bowl. One time I actually went through the whole thing. It was like Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, National Championship. But other than that, it's been 2, 3 straight nights now. I need this game to come so bad. It's taking over my sleep.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, granted, this is Oregon's first playoff since, gosh, I mean, when was the last playoff game for them? Was that 2015? 14?
Yeah. Maybe. I know 2012 for sure, but I don't know about.
Yeah, 2014, I think, that that fateful year. So, I mean, I understand it's just, the nerves of a game of this magnitude.
They don't come around that often, like
No.
these sort of things, especially being undefeated, like right now, how we are.
And then you're playing Ohio State. It's the Rose Bowl, a classic Pac-12 Big Ten matchup.
And supposedly Ohio State's got everything figured out now.
Well, they didn't lose this year.
Yeah. No.
I don't know if you heard.
They just beat themselves.
Yeah, they didn't lose. So, I mean,
crazy. I heard that. I've listened to all the media stuff from the Rose Bowl today.
Dude, of course, Will Howard goes and says it too.
Oh, I know. Well, Will Howard, but he was just basically echoing what Ryan Day continuously says.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this game, there's so many different ways this game could play out, and it's just kind of like you're ready for it. I just have a different feeling about this year's team than I have in the past. Usually I come in like, I don't think we have a shot, but this year and the way that this team wins and and Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, how cool, calm, collected he is, and I think the decisions he's going to make down the stretch, I think we got the better quarterback, and that could honestly be what ends up happening. He's going to make less mistakes than what Will Howard does.
Well, so I guess that is my question is like, I know we don't want to think about it, but how do each of these teams win this game? Like on the Ohio State side, I think it's very much like, all right, let's do what we did against Tennessee, against Oregon. Much easier said than done, but let's not play with our food. Let's do what Washington did to them last year. Let's not be afraid to throw deep. Let's not be afraid to put the ball in our best players' hands. Now, granted, they have Will Howard and not Michael Penix. Will Howard, good quarterback. Michael Penix, better quarterback, who could just make some throws that
we have the best quarterback left in the playoff.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel good right away. He's played the most football. He has weapons all around him. He's not hurting for that. I think the one way we do lose this game is if Ohio State comes out and plays just as well as Wisconsin did on defense, limits us, doesn't let anything over the top, and our defense plays exactly like it did against Penn State. That is, we let Travion Henderson and Quishon Juggins run. If they can establish the run and then just take shots down the field, we're going to be in trouble. We can't be constantly one-on-one coverage with Jeremiah Smith. I don't care who you are. It's not going to work. We're going to have to bracket him. We'll take some of what Michigan did a little bit. You have to stop the run, though. You have to stop Travion Henderson and Quinton Juggins, because once the ball is in Will Howard's hands constantly and he feels any kind of heat, that's when I feel most confident. And I'll give it over to Dylan Gabriel. He's been making good decisions in big games all year. So we're the only team to play this many big games in a year and to play 3 teams that are left in the quarterfinal. So, and beat them all. So it's really, I know in that Wisconsin game we didn't have Tez, so that is kind of skewed because Tez is kind of a scapegoat. When anything's really not working, he somehow makes a few people miss, and then he has the game-changing speed to where he can make a couple moves and get over the top no matter
Yeah.
what. So I think that's the way that you see Ohio State beat us, and then if you flip it over to Oregon, I think Oregon does the same exact thing. They establish the run early with Jordan James like we've been doing this year, and if he's healthy right now, I think we're going to have Marcus Harper back at right guard, fully healthy, and then just push him down, continue to protect Dylan Gabriel like the first time we played him. They didn't have a single sack against us, and make Denzel Burke and Igbinosa somehow cover our guys. They haven't been shown that they can really do it, not in that first game. And all year they've been getting challenged. Igbinosa is a penalty machine, PI. And then Denzel Burke, are we in his head?
The Ducks picked on him in that first game.
Yeah. Are we in his head? Like, is he like scared for real? Like, it's going to be tough to. That's all he's been hearing in that media ever since that game. They're like, "What's wrong with Denzel Burke? Is he going to be okay? Can he guard these Oregon wide receivers?" And we think that same thing. And even just since then, we started to get the tight ends more involved. Terrence Ferguson, he's healthy. We got Kenyon Sadiq. He's another thing to deal with. So I
hopefully
think
Trayshawn Holden won't be spitting in people's faces.
Yeah, Trayshawn can stay in there, but it's when everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Ohio State hasn't allowed a passing touchdown since the Oregon game." Yeah, that's impressive. They haven't played that many dynamic passing offenses since.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point. Is like, okay, if you say that, it's like, all right, well then, what passing offenses have they played like that?
And what kind of weapons scare you other than what Oregon has? Oregon has the best weapons they'll see all year, and I bet Will Stein's going to dial up some plays. My only question is special teams, of what happens in this game. It could come down to a big Sappington kick. It could come down to another fake punt. It could come down to us doing a weird onside kick off of someone again. Like, I know that they're going to be prepared for pretty much anything we want to do, just because I know that they're losing sleep over losing possession on that kick, that onside kick or whatever you want to call it. And they've seen it. We put on tape in the Maryland game, fake punt. We've shown that, like, when we don't have things going offensively, Boise State game, that Tez can take one back. Like, it's just those sort of things. We're winning every little way. Can we continue doing that and look good doing it? So
love it. Love the breakdown. Yeah, I mean, I know one big storyline of this is Ohio State's health on the offensive line. Kind of like, rebuttal to that I have to say is like, all right, well, a backup lineman at Ohio State is still a lineman at Ohio State. Like,
still 5-star, 4 or 5 star.
Yeah. They got what's his nuts on the line moving from guard to tackle.
Yeah, Donovan Jackson. He was the number 1 guard in the country in that same class with JT and Jack Sawyer. Yeah. And he's a 5-star. So, like, you just tell a good lineman to move out a little bit to the left. I know it's like a lot more easier said than done, but you're right. That is still a position where they haven't been fully challenged. And we got some difference makers up front. Like, if we can, I think Penn State's offensive line is better than this line right now. Maybe not at full strength if they were at the regular season, but with their backups in Penn State, I was really impressed by that team's offensive line.
Well, any excuse or anytime I have the excuse to say that this game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage, I absolutely love that. Yeah. The big hog mollies settling this. But I think that I think where this game is decided is that matchup, the offensive line of Ohio State versus the defensive line, the edges of Oregon. Is that now, to give Will Howard credit, even when he was on the move a little bit against Oregon in that first matchup, he still made plays. Like,
yeah.
So it's just a matter of fucking getting to him this time. Like they got him down one time in the fourth quarter in that first game.
He played really well.
You need to get to more than that. And again,
plays.
like if you're going to be able to make sure they don't go deep, that he doesn't hit Jeremiah Smith down the field or Egbuka, or just get these guys involved more, then you need to be able to somehow create pressure with 4 rushers, with 5 guys.
I think they can.
I think they can too. I mean, I trust Tosh 100%. It's just, whether or not it's going to happen, and whether or not Ohio State is going to be able to pick it up, and whether their offensive line, again, it's like, that kid that's playing tackle for them. It's like, well, he is a guard, so he's playing out of position. And yes, he's a good offensive lineman, but are you going to be able to get him uncomfortable and give him some things that he's not used to? I mean, the center for Ohio State, how long has that backup center been in for now? A few games.
Yeah.
We saw what happened when they went up against a really good defensive line in Michigan, in Mason Graham and those guys. So,
Jordan Burch is something different. They didn't see him last time. So,
correct. Yeah.
That's another positive thing. I'm worried because I think that what I've seen and what I heard that they were going to do is start to pass to the backs out of the backfield, like Travion Henderson, a lot more when they're not able to get the run game is established. And that seemed to be really working against Tennessee. They didn't have anyone out in the flats to guard these guys. They're fast. It's a tough ask. So it'll be interesting to see if Oregon responds to that. But did you see Tosh in one of his, I think his presser this week, when he was like, yeah, we want to mentally and physically assault this quarterback within the rules of the game. That
legalized assault, baby.
Yeah. So, he's coming – they're going to put a lot of different exotic looks at him and this offensive line to see if their communication is good enough to pick up what they're going to bring. And they're probably going to be disguising a lot of different stuff. This is the time where you bring it all out, right? You're not guaranteed the next game. Who cares if you have to put some of it on tape? You're going to have to a second time you play a team. You're going to have to bring out new things you haven't seen. I just hope vice versa. We're able to handle those things, because our defense was not very promising against Penn State. I know they were doing a lot of weird motion stuff, but I bet Chip sees that and he tries to incorporate some of that stuff too. So,
yeah, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but there are some things that I think Penn State was doing that helped them out. I'm not going to talk more than that, but I think that was a little bit, how do you say? I think what Penn State did was one of those outliers where I just don't see that happening again. I don't think Drew Aller in that offense, in that passing game, is that good. And I won't go into it too much, but I think that just this game is going to be decided with the defensive line of Oregon, their defense, and whether or not, because the first game that we got, both quarterbacks played well, both offenses played well. It was basically one of those, who had the ball last, but also who has the ball last and can make sure that they still have time on the clock.
It's clock management. It's the 12 men on the field rule. It's Dan got a rule changed in college football from this game last time. So it's really, position football, situational football. What team's going to be more dialed into that right now? It's going to come down to those little things, I think, especially with the spread. I think it's just disrespectful to have them favored by 2.5 over us. But
hey, I love it. Bulletin board material, man.
Oh, yeah.
No one believes in us. No one gives us a shot.
Still, no one believes in. Who cares,
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I am
for you.
A score prediction. God,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go like something similar to the first game, like a 34-31. I think it's going to be hard for these defenses to completely stop these offenses. So I'm going somewhere along there, 34-31.
Yeah,
Oregon, of course.
that's solid.
Got to put that positive mojo out into the universe, baby.
Yeah, you've been doing it this year. It's been working.
It's the secret, man.
I'm gonna go with like 38, 35 or something weird.
38-35.
Yeah. Sappington.
Ohio State wins.
Kick. No.
Yeah.
Dylan leads us down there in just enough time to kick a Sappington 30-yarder for the win.
Yeah, maybe this is where Sappington has his chance to sabotage our season. He's been waiting for this.
Oh, take him out back.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm so nervous, though. I'm right there with you, man. It's just like this last week and a half has just been crawling by, and the fact that we're now 2 days away from the game, like I'm a mess.
My stomach hurts like thinking about it already.
Yeah, it's one of those like I'll be with you, I'll be watching the game with you, but I mean, I remember this like the Pac-12 championship last year with Washington. I watched that over at my girlfriend's who, she could care less about what's going on, what's happening. So I just really watched that by myself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those games where it's like, I don't want to be around anyone if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But also it's like, if it goes the way that we want it to, then we're tearing the Twilight Room up.
Yeah. That place is going to be torn up on a Wednesday.
Cookies for all.
Yeah. Stakes couldn't be any higher too. Like, to get to the semifinal, it's just one of those crazy feelings that we don't get very often. So you got to try to take advantage of them anytime you're in this situation.
So how do you think a team like Arizona State or Boise State is feeling then?
I'm so excited for this Arizona State Texas game. I might be like maybe a little naive thinking that Arizona State might be able to stick around for a little while. But I love that Sam Levitt was like basically saying that he was going to outplay Quinn Ewers. And
yeah, I saw that. I love the shit talking from the Westland native.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, Sam, talk your shit. Let's go. Back it up. 13 points, underdogs. Now, do I feel confident at all, really, that Arizona State could win? Not really.
No.
But do I want to see Sam Levitt and Cam Scatterbo just fucking dominate? Yeah, I would love to see that. But
just give me one upset. Just out of the Arizona State, Texas, Penn State, Boise State, just give me one. All right.
I think that also, like that Boise State Penn State spread at 11, I think that's a little crazy too. Boise State has been respectable for most of the year. The way they played Oregon, the way I know that Penn State's rush defense is really good. And Maddox Madsen's going to have to make plays for him to win or have a chance. But 11 points is a lot, right? Isn't that a lot?
Yeah. If out of those two spreads, what do you think is more likely to get covered?
I think
Boise State 11 or Arizona State 13.
Yeah, I think Boise 11. I really do. There's something about those Boise fucking uniforms when they're in the Fiesta Bowl, and still James Franklin in big games. Boise State is like been counted out from the very start, like even more
3-0 in Fiesta Bowl history.
Yeah.
The Boise State Broncos.
There's just something weird that happens. They do have the difference maker at running back, but will that ultimately matter? I'm not sure. We'll see how Drew Aller plays, and I think that's going to be a big part. Is if Nick Singleton and Katron Allen can't get it going on the ground for whatever reason, Boise State has their best defensive rush defense performance of the year, then does Drew Aller make any mistakes? and is it going to cost them? So I think I can't wait to watch that game tomorrow night. I'm glad we get a game at 4:30 tomorrow to start it off, kick off the quarterfinal. Honestly, I'm really excited to watch all these games, even Notre Dame, Georgia, like later after that Oregon game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously outside of the Oregon Ohio State game, as far as like best matchup goes, the Boise State and Fiesta Bowl playing Penn State, like pray to God that happens. Arizona State being in the playoff, going up against a storied program like Texas, obviously that's great. But really, the matchup I'm looking forward to is that Notre Dame Georgia game, because I feel like Notre Dame is going to win this. Like, I know that Georgia has a backup quarterback, and kind of like the Ohio State thing with their offensive line, where it's like, a backup quarterback at Georgia is a quarterback at Georgia, right? Like, he must be pretty good. And he didn't look all that phased in the SEC championship once he had to go in the second half. But I just think that this Notre Dame defense is playing at another level right now.
Yeah.
And
I think take the under probably.
Yeah, I would be comfortable with that, because also the Notre Dame's, offense, them running the ball a lot more than passing it. It's like, that's going to chew up some clock. I don't know what the number that they put it at.
I mean, the thing is that regardless of what Notre Dame is not going to see a defense like this all year. Like, you give Kirby Smart 4 weeks to prepare for you. That's why I like Kirby Smart more so when he only has a week to prepare for you and not fucking 4.
Yeah.
Because that gets to be absurd. Like, when he has that much time to come up with a game plan. We saw it when he had the whole entire summer to prepare for Oregon when he played Dan Lanning for the first time and everything. This guy is just elite when he has time. 45.5 is the total.
That's pretty low.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they factor in not very many points scored, and I still want to take under.
Yeah, me too.
I think it could be like seriously like a 13-10 type game, or like a 20-17 or something like that. Like,
yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I think that this kid Gunnar Stockton's going to have a tough time, and Notre Dame's going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And again, Notre Dame, I know they like to run the football. They have a good run attack, but you're right. Like, you're going up against a Kirby Smart team that is prepped for 4 weeks. So
yeah,
you're going to have your toughest test when it comes to being able to run the ball. And I mean, if you look at who Notre Dame has played this year, out of all these teams, I mean, the closest you have come to playing a team like this was at the beginning of the season was Texas A&M.
Yeah, and this is like Texas A&M, but like times 2 almost.
On steroids, yeah.
Yeah, like they got in ETN has had 4 weeks to recover from his injury. So you're going to get a healthy dose of ETN with Gunnar Stockton's first start, I guess. And one thing I'm not sold is if Georgia needs to pass the ball, these Georgia wide receivers might be the worst core that I've seen them have in
for
years.
A while. Yeah.
Like, they don't have a Brock Bowers. They don't have a George Pickens. They don't have
AJ Green.
Yeah, they just don't.
They don't have that dude.
Well, what's crazy is they have guys that with like that kind of talent and that kind of rating, but they got the Quentin Johnson hands. They got the 50-50 hands. And
yeah. Gosh, was it Georgia? Was it them that led the college football in drops this year?
I mean, that would not surprise me, because I watched quite a few Georgia games and I was just shocked by the amount of times where Carson Beck would rifle it in there and then them just drop that game, especially against that Georgia Tech game when they went into 8 overtimes or whatever, and the amount of times the game could have been over, but Georgia dropped it like 2 or 3 times. So like, if you have decent DBs playing, which Notre Dame does, I don't see Georgia being able to get open very often.
Yeah.
And like reliably get open. So if Georgia can run the ball, that's pretty much their only hope to scoring, or their defense picks Riley Leonard off and scores.
Yeah. So are you going Notre Dame also? Because I am. I've been saying it for the past couple weeks now since we've known the matchup, but also just as we've gotten closer and closer, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm rolling with Notre Dame pulling it off.
I'll tell you this right now. If this was 1 week to prepare, I would pick Notre Dame. Since Georgia's had so long, and I can't bet against Kirby Smart right now in this kind of a game. I saw Notre Dame lose to NIU. I know they can. Like, I gotta go. I'm gonna go Georgia, and obviously I'll go Penn State. Georgia, Penn State. I did think how crazy it would be if Arizona State shocked the world and it was Dan versus what's this? Kenny Dillingham. Just like,
oh God, yeah.
If we brought back the band and they played each other in the semifinal, like how crazy.
And then you get Oregon and Georgia in the college football championship, and Dan going up against his former head coach,
where he started.
Then that 100-point loss from a couple years ago
in the same exact spot.
Oh my
Mercedes.
God.
Like, that's why I was like, it was written in the stars for him to come back to the Mercedes-Benz Dome where he started his head coaching career with Oregon.
Right. Well, I didn't know that the national championship game was in Atlanta, so I definitely don't want to play Georgia in that game.
No, it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be like, for me, full circle for
storybook.
Yeah, like for Dan Lanning, all of a sudden he goes from having this team that was supposed to be good to start the year, gets blown out in his first game by his old head coach, and then comes back 2 years later, gets to the national championship with the number 1 ranked team, undefeated, beats his old coach in Atlanta, gives no questions they're the best team in the country, and wins his first national championship in his third year.
So you're going Georgia to beat Notre Dame.
Yes.
And I'm going Notre Dame.
And then I think Penn State does have a legit chance to beat Georgia, though, in that semi. Like, I think that'd be a really good game. And I would not.
So you're not going with the Broncos?
I'm not going to take the Broncos. I really want to take the Broncos just because James Franklin in big games. He just
got it. I think if I had to choose, if I had a monkey paw and I had to choose and say, like, hey, you can only choose one of these games to be an upset, I think I'm going Boise State to pull the upset against Penn State. I would want that to happen more than Arizona State over Texas.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think that regardless, Penn State's going to be a better matchup for whoever comes out of that Notre Dame Georgia game. But I think Boise State might be a good match for Penn State, but not for these other two teams. I don't know. But yeah, Texas and Arizona State. I'm just going to be excited. I'm going to be tuned in 10 a.m. watching that game. And then probably by halftime, trying not to puke from how nervous I am and try to make my way over the Twilight Room. Real quick before I leave, just get it out.
Just first quarter of the Rose Bowl, just already thrown up, getting tossed out of the Twilight Room because they think you're drunk. It's like, no, he's just nervous.
He's one beer in. What's going on?
Yeah. Excuse my friend.
Yeah, he's just nervous tummy. I'm just taking shits and throwing up at the same time. Yeah, I'm excited. It needs to get here. I don't think I could handle it another week away. So, here.
And then, if Oregon wins that game, then it all starts back over and enjoy another week and a half of being nervous as fuck to take on either Texas or Arizona State.
Yep. It's from here on out, it's just nerves, nervy all the way. And I do like how the championships played on Martin Luther King Day. I already have that day off, which is nice.
Ooh, on the 20th?
Yeah. I'm
going to have to look up the company holiday schedule now that you said that.
It's already a holiday for the city, so
Well, if that's not a corporate holiday, then they're going to get a sternly worded letter from
yeah,
a sternly worded email from me about that.
anonymous. So yeah.
Oh no, I'm putting my name on that one.
And then
I'm gonna let him know.
I'm taking that Tuesday off too. You best believe I'm not going to work if we win the national championship the next day.
Yeah, now that I think about it, you taking off the second was a smart move.
Yeah, I just don't want to.
That's it. Yeah, win or lose, interactive society.
Yeah, I'm going to be the happiest guy on the planet and probably drink too much, and then or be the saddest guy on the planet and maybe drink too much. So
yeah, it's a either way, we're drinking.
Yeah.
What's what school has that saying? Win or lose, we drink.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of schools have that saying. Yeah, win or lose, we booze. What is that?
Yep. I'm not sure.
Who's that? That's a Johnny Manziel quote.
No way.
Yeah.
No, that's not just John. Is that really?
Yeah. Well, that's what Google AI is telling me.
Oh, that
says win or lose, we booze was a Johnny Manziel quote.
Well,
Manziel was playing for the Memphis Express of the Alliance of American Football, and his team lost 48-44. He said, good start, even with the loss. You know, win or lose, we booze on the Zappers.
They have Johnny Manziel t-shirts that say win or lose, we booze.
Win or lose, we booze. I mean, someone had to have said that before he did. He just probably made it famous.
Yeah.
Win or lose, we booze.
Well, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead that fast. I just want to take it game by game like the Ducks are, and we'll see if we're lucky enough to be.
I already got my 2025 national champion tattoo, or 2024. Maybe I messed up the year already.
Oh, Fisher.
Might have to go back to the tattoo parlor for that one. And it looks like I do have MLK Day off, so it has to happen. It's got to happen then. At that point, if you're going to give us the day off, then the Ducks might as well win the national championship.
Yeah, it was written in the stars by Martin Luther King himself.
Christ, yeah, I'm going to be a mess the next couple of days.
But yeah, 2:00 on New Year's Day.
That will be a day I will not show up late to the bar. I will make sure I am there at the latest 1:45.
Yeah, Fisher, if you're fucking late to this because you're playing too much 2K or you're needing to get gas at some place, you better have gas the day before, and you better, you're going to get gas tomorrow. And then
clear eyes, full tanks, can't lose.
Exactly. You better finish that fucking dynasty season tonight and then not worry about it when you're playing tomorrow. So,
well, I mean, I will be in Portland that morning.
Oh, okay.
So
that's already set up.
I will be, yes. I will already be in a good spot where I'm not coming from the Berg. So it'll be a quick little jaunt down the road for me. It'll make it easy for everybody involved.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, man, I've been grinding on that 2K. That is a life. Reps. Oh man, that is a life I am not made for. They have made that game so time consuming to get good at.
Just like your player.
Yeah, the my player stuff. Yeah. It's just grinding for that VC, man.
I mean, that's kind of nice that you can't just step in and be the best player all of a sudden.
Yeah, you'd like to be.
Yeah, I'd like. I put all that work in.
It's definitely the case with my sophomore quarterback at Oregon on College Football 25.
Oh, just a stud.
Oh, just lighting up defenses. Just
picking them apart.
Yeah. I mean, I think we put up 63 on Oregon State,
It's just
Hey, I did my time. I sat on the bench. These fuckers, I swear to God, I don't know what Dan Lanning was thinking, but he started my sophomore year. He started Austin Novastad in the game 1 against Miami in Autzen. We lose in overtime. So already 0-1 to start the season. And then he's like, all right, we're making the move to Fisher. Get out there. And
no way.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I was so pissed. And so now he throws me in as the starter, and we've been just running the table ever since. Whooped up on Oklahoma State, took care of Oregon State. Who else would we beat?
I do love how he made the quarterback change. So that's hilarious. He's like, yeah, you're just not doing it, Noah. That we're going to go to the
I had the coach trust. You know, the coach trust was built. It was built before the season. I had a solid GPA, you know, leader in the community and in the locker room. So I don't know what he needed to see out of Austin, but he saw enough.
Oh, well.
I know. Having Cristobal just come back to Autzen and win that game, and I'm on the bench. There's nothing I can do about it. Just made me sick to my stomach.
This doesn't sit well with you.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely freaking not.
Well, should we wrap this up, Fisher?
Yeah, I gotta go win a national championship.
Yeah, you need to get this in before tomorrow.
I'm telling you, the grinding on 2K. I need to somehow get some VC quick. This whole 72, 73 overall business is not gonna cut it.
Just not working from downtown.
I was a black hole on offense for a while. Now I'm distributing a little bit more.
Just 3 and 13.
Dude, it is so frustrating. It's just like you can only miss so many threes and easy layups before you're like, all right, I need to start deferring. Like, I know Jeremy Grant's ratings aren't as bad as mine. Shaden Sharp, Anthony Simons. I got to start dishing this ball around and getting my guys involved.
Yeah.
One last thing, it cracked me up. One of the storylines was that, like, and I'm sure it depends on whatever team you end up playing on, but they were saying that Denny Avdia was upset that he wasn't being involved in the offenses more. And so I had to get his usage up, and it was like, I had to get his usage rate up, or I had to get him like more points per game. And I was like, wow, Denny. All right. Just he's not happy with his role.
Yeah. Demanding more. Come on.
And again, I was like, I'm sure, you know, if I went to some other team, they just choose one person, but I was like, who knew Denny was a diva?
Is your guy out of Pitt? Did you make him out of Pitt?
No, actually, I think I made him out of Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Ducks are cruising right now too.
Yeah. I mean, I wish Pitt was the one with the top 10 ranking, but we'll be there and we'll be there soon enough.
Get back on the horse. Yeah.
We'll be taking care of Stanford and Cal this week. We'll be going to Duke next week. We'll get an upset victory there for the second year in a row. Take care of business.
Oh, yeah, we'll see about that.
We will see. God damn it.
Yeah, it's all right. The fucking the Hoyas right now 2-0 in Big East play.
Hey, how about that? Go Hoyas.
We'll see. Ed Cooley, if he can.
Patrick Ewing's not there anymore, right?
Yeah, I got Ed Cooley.
Ed Cooley,
the old Providence coach.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
Yeah, he's always got that like weird spot on his head, I think.
Yeah, balding spot in the back.
Beat Seton Hall by 1. It was a close one.
I got to be better than that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pulling for your Hoyas, man. Hopefully they can get it together.
Continue. Lebanon 2.
All right, we'll get some sleep over the next couple of days.
I'm going to try to not have another Rose Bowl dream tonight. I'm going to try everything. Like, I'm not going to watch anything before I go to bed. I'll probably still have one, like, throwing up in the middle of the night. I smell roses. Yeah, right. All right, I'll see you Wednesday then. I
will see you Wednesday at the Twilight Room up on the bluff.
I'll be there early, so you don't have to worry about that.
Gonna be posted up there. What, 1:00?
Yeah, 1 o'clock, maybe even a little bit before, I'm probably just gonna like needing a beer to like relax and
calm the nerves.
Like make sure that I'm not throwing up already. Maybe spin a little golden tea by myself to get my mind off. I don't know.
Oh, they got
Who
golden
knows?
tea up there?
Yeah, they do. So who knows?
Let's
I might
go.
need to just go grab a little couple rounds or a round or something to keep my mind occupied, or just finish watching the Texas Arizona State game. We'll see.
Yeah, get Yes up on the leaderboard.
Yep, he'll get in there.
All right. Well, I will catch you Wednesday.
Sounds good, man. Have a good one.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace.